Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into one of the most dramatic developments in the Russia-Ukraine conflict, something that has stunned analysts, shaken military planners, and sent shockwaves across international media. Ukraine has reportedly used a new and highly advanced strike system, what many are calling a secret weapon, to hit the Crimea Bridge once again. And newly surfaced footage shows a level of precision and force unlike anything we've seen before. Whether this operation was carried out using a next-generation drone, a modified long-range missile, or a hybrid weapon Ukraine has kept hidden from the public, the results have left the world asking one question: how did Ukraine manage to strike one of Russia's most heavily defended and deeply symbolic structures yet again? In the early hours before sunrise, the bridge was quiet. Traffic was minimal, and most residents in the surrounding areas were still asleep. But in the darkness, something moved across the water, silent, fast, and nearly invisible. At first, radar operators along the coast did not detect anything unusual, and eyewitnesses described the sea as calm and undisturbed. But minutes later, a blinding flash lit up the horizon, followed by a thunderous explosion that echoed across the Kerch Strait. Footage captured from multiple angles shows an enormous fireball erupting beneath the structure, sending smoke and debris shooting upward with extraordinary force. The newly leaked video that surfaced shortly afterward appears to show an object traveling at extremely high speed, skimming just above the surface of the water before slamming directly into one of the bridge's structural support sections. Analysts who have reviewed the footage say the object appears smaller than traditional missiles, but moves with similar velocity. That has led to speculation that Ukraine may have developed a compact, high-speed, stealth-capable drone designed specifically for deep target strikes inside Russian-controlled territory. Russian emergency teams rushed to the scene, but by the time they arrived, flames had already grown into towering columns of smoke. Sections of the bridge could be seen sagging under their own weight, with metal beams twisted like wires and pieces of the road deck hanging dangerously over the water. The intense heat made it nearly impossible for first responders to get close for several hours. Videos taken from afar show thick plumes of black smoke spreading across the horizon as patrol boats circled the area. Within an hour of the explosion, Russian officials released a statement claiming that the strike had been intercepted or only partially successful. But the footage circulating online told a very different story. The impact zone was clearly visible, and the amount of structural damage was significant. Engineers who analyzed the footage noted that the strike hit a vulnerable load-bearing point, which suggests precise knowledge of the bridge's weak spots. This has fueled speculation that Ukraine may be using advanced intelligence systems, possibly provided by Western partners, to pinpoint exact structural vulnerabilities. What shocked observers even more was how the weapon bypassed Russian defenses. The Crimea Bridge is protected by radar systems, air defense units, patrol ships, and electronic warfare equipment. Yet the object in the leaked footage seemed to slip through all of it. Some experts believe Ukraine may have used a low-profile drone designed to fly so close to the water that it remains below radar coverage. Others suggest that the weapon could have employed some type of AI-driven navigation, allowing it to adjust flight paths in real time to avoid detection. But perhaps the most intriguing theory is that Ukraine used a hybrid weapon, a sea drone equipped with advanced propulsion capable of achieving speeds much higher than conventional naval drones. This would explain the high-velocity movement captured in the footage. Over the past year, Ukraine has made rapid advancements in unmanned naval technology, and several reports indicate that experimental prototypes were being tested for long-range operations. For Russia, this strike is not just another attack. It represents a major intelligence and defense failure. The Crimea Bridge is a political symbol, a logistical lifeline, and a psychological touchpoint for the Russian government. Every time it is hit, the Kremlin faces pressure to explain how such a highly secured target remains vulnerable. Russian commentators and military analysts on state television struggled to maintain the usual narrative. Some blamed Western technology, others accused Ukraine of escalating the conflict, and a few even questioned whether Russia's defenses were as effective as previously claimed. Inside Russia, reports suggest that President Putin was briefed immediately. Sources familiar with Kremlin dynamics say there was noticeable frustration over the fact that Ukraine continues to demonstrate the capability to strike deep into Russian-controlled areas. The reaction reportedly included emergency meetings to reassess air defense deployment across Crimea, particularly around key infrastructure sites. Additional security measures have already been ordered, but experts believe that patching defenses will not be enough to stop high-tech precision weapons like the one used in this attack. Meanwhile, the impact on Russia's military logistics is serious. The bridge is a vital supply route for transporting fuel, ammunition, and reinforcements into southern Ukraine. Even temporary disruptions force Russia to reroute supplies through land corridors or via ferries, both of which are slower, more expensive, and easier for Ukraine to target. Military analysts say that repeated strikes on the bridge don't just damage infrastructure, they create long-term operational pressure that weakens Russia's war effort. Ukraine, as expected, did not officially confirm involvement. But Ukrainian officials posted cryptic messages online hinting that their long-range capabilities have expanded. One Ukrainian advisor even referenced engineering surprises are still being developed, which suggests that this attack might only be the beginning of a new phase in Ukraine's strategy. By using highly advanced drones or hybrid weapons, Ukraine can strike critical Russian positions without risking pilots or large-scale operations. International reactions poured in quickly after the footage went viral. Western analysts praised Ukraine's ingenuity and adaptability, noting that asymmetric warfare, where a smaller force uses smart technology to outmaneuver a larger military, has become a defining characteristic of this conflict. Several intelligence experts described the strike as one of the most significant drone or unmanned weapon operations of the year due to the precision involved. Some countries, however, urged caution, warning that further escalation could destabilize the region even more. On social media, discussions exploded as people compared the latest footage to previous strikes. Many users pointed out that the weapon used in this attack seemed faster and more accurate, supporting the theory that Ukraine has developed a new class of strike system. Others highlighted how quickly Russia sealed off the area and restricted information, a sign that the damage was far more severe than initially claimed. As the sun rose over Crimea after the strike, the full scale of destruction became visible in newly released satellite images. Large sections of the road deck were destabilized, and work crews could be seen attempting to assess the damage. Temporary closures were ordered immediately, causing long traffic jams on both sides of the bridge. Ferry routes became congested as thousands of vehicles attempted to reroute, and frustration among civilians grew rapidly. Engineers say that repairing the damage will be extremely difficult. The impact appears to have affected structural joints and internal framework that cannot simply be patched or replaced quickly. Some experts believe that repeated strikes over time may weaken the bridge permanently, making full restoration impossible without major reconstruction. This operation marks a turning point in the conflict. It demonstrates that unmanned, intelligent, and stealth-driven weapons are becoming central to modern warfare. Ukraine has shown that with the right combination of creativity, engineering, and intelligence, even a heavily defended target can be breached. What happens next is uncertain, but one thing is clear: Ukraine's secret weapon, whatever its exact nature, has changed the battlefield. It has exposed vulnerabilities that Russia cannot ignore and has raised new questions about the future of high-tech warfare. As more details emerge and more footage becomes available, the world will be watching closely to see how both sides respond to this bold and highly strategic operation. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more updates, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for continuous coverage on major global events. We'll see you in the next video.